Okay, I have a special guest today talking about Mercenary Tao. It's going to be Michael T. We're going to be talking about the introduction of this character and what strategies one could employ. So, Michael, I imagine you must have the Tao personality in front of you right now. If you need a minute, I can let you pull it up.
Yeah, give me a second.
So, in the meantime, we'll talk a little bit about how, when we talk about new personalities, sometimes one can be forgiven for thinking, oh, this personality is going to be effective, not effective, just based on what little we've seen. I'm going to actually say that based on what I've seen, based on what I've seen in the new set, that sort of thing, Mercenary Tao is going to be very effective. To me, I can give you sort of a prediction. He's going to be who Wheelo was supposed to be.
Uh, I don't know about that. I see him not really destroying the top of decks. I see him like constantly winning by Dragon Ball victory.
Oh, that's right. You were coming away with a different one. You'll explain a little bit about that as we go. So we'll start off with Mercenary Tao level 1, Old Foe. So he's got two different powers. One is a continuous power. The other is a regular, consumes an action power. So we'll start
Hmm.
off with the unlimited, or continuous, I should say. Whenever an ally is discarded or destroyed from your opponent's life deck, you may raise your anger one level. Whenever one of your attacks is stopped, rejuvenate one. So, okay. He's an anti-ally deck right off the bat, which means that Style Junior decks will have a natural foe now.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
true.
the whole concept that he does the opposite of what a lot of kamikaze decks do of destroying themselves: stop an attack, rejuvenate one. And
Yeah.
not rejuvenate like the first attack, not rejuvenate certain style. No, no, everything. So even if you built your own personal ally deck and had a huge mega assault ready, your opponent throws up time, they'll regret it.
Yep.
So, what kind of
As long
advantages
as
are
he's not
you
throwing
seeing?
time first turn in the game.
Oh, what are you talking about? You feel like you're playing some people you played before who always have time first turn no matter what happens?
Yeah, basically. You run into the person, it's like, well, I have a way to garner 3 extra actions this combat, and he just threw up time. Okay, well, there's nothing in my graveyard or discard pile to rejuvenate. But I guess once you start throwing extra attacks, you'll be able to just throw them again eventually.
Oh yeah. So that, like we said, could be maybe the most dangerous thing about Tao, and also will keep him from getting parked on level 1. Is just raising his anger like that. Against an ally deck, that is. So, what kind of advantages would you see with that continuous power?
It's just very situational. I mean, the only good thing is when your attacks are stopped, and that's the only thing you can really count on. Um, and even then, you're going to have stuff in the discard pile. But the ally part is just it's the only thing that bugs me, and it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb on it.
You think so? It feels somewhat inappropriate.
Unless they're planning for like a big ally meta, it just seems to stick out.
Well, you remember with old Cell Junior coming out. You remember he can have 9 of the same allies, 3 of each.
True.
So you
So yeah,
can
with that,
potentially
yeah,
be
potentially.
unpleasant, at least. So that's very interesting. Like you said, you're talking about situational. You know what I call that? I call that balance. If it was anything more ridiculous, I'd say, whoa, 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 let's not do that. He does have, of course, a power. You may shuffle a card from your hand. Oh, no, no, just shuffle a card from your hand into your life deck to draw a card.
Hmm.
So a couple, you'll notice the language is real specific there. There isn't a discard and then draw because you a bit of discard, which is good.
Right.
Uh, However, do you know how few people have a shuffle your deck effect built into their powers? There might be some inadvertent ones or search ones like say Tien, but it's not a common ability.
No, it really isn't. Yeah, TN, Cell at upper levels can.
Well, exactly. Most people don't have that built into level 1. So let's say you're camping level 1. It's really one of the only ways to consistently shuffle your deck, which I'm told in other styles, because I don't generally play other styles, but I'm told other styles like orange and red, and probably black. You don't tend to shuffle your deck often.
Huh. You're not searching it. Uh,
Uh,
see, well, Namekian tends to.
oh, definitely. That's why I was saying that I don't play other styles, so I don't know. I'm a Namekian loser, so yeah, that's how it is. But speaking of all that, though, so you were telling me with this idea, you were thinking of this potentially being a Dragon Ball heavy. This is priceless. The ability to shuffle your deck is priceless because you need to be able to recur those Dragon Balls, or get at them, shuffle them, all that stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, if it turns into a dead card in your hand, you can always put it back in the deck, shuffle and draw something else.
Exactly.
So
So
yeah,
very
it's good
effective.
for recycling, and you don't have to ditch a card.
Well, exactly, and that's what we're talking about. How boy things have changed. This power, without a doubt, would have been a discard power had it come before, no question.
Hmm.
So we're moving on to Tau level 2, Mercenary Tau Reckless. So continuous says, whenever you perform an attack, destroy the top card of your opponent's life deck. So you're saying you don't feel that this continuous, though, is going to be not the heart of any particular deck? You don't feel his most effective is going to be a mill?
No, I don't think so. Of course, I don't know what new cards are coming out right now, and there could be ways to generate a lot of extra attacks. He even has an attack on level 2. Uh, yeah, physical for 1 life card, so you may shuffle a card from your hand into your life deck to draw a card. So it's the same power from level 1, but as a physical attack.
Oh, exactly,
So,
and it's pretty good. The damage may not be huge, but that's not the point.
right. Yeah, so, yeah, he can mill quite a bit. The thing that I see is his hit effect. So your next attack this combat cannot be stopped. What I was thinking that'd be good for are, red cards that say that would have hit effects where you can use a crit effect, crit Dragon Balls back, crit anger, or you
So,
can use it with, uh, what is it, face smash? To where you capture a Dragon Ball, and then there's a hit effect where you can use the effects of that Dragon Ball.
oh, I'm sorry, Michael. I had my mom calling over here. I'm sorry. What were you saying about the Dragon Balls?
Oh, uh, you made me lose my place.
Well, you were talking about how with his hit effect being what it is.
Yeah, well, it's gonna mean that your next attack gets through no matter what. If its first attack hits, so if you're planning, yeah, set noise.
Oh, it's me closing the screen door.
Okay, so yeah, with the hit effect, it's gonna allow your next attack to get through. So with that, you're gonna have to plan ahead. If you have Optic Blast in your hand, you can easily capture Dragon Ball back, capture a Dragon Ball, and that'll allow you to draw if it's an Earth Dragon Ball, or you can do more deck destruction.
I fully understand. I get what you're saying, that this particular one could be instrumental in getting control over bad situations.
Yeah.
What gets me about it, when I look at it, I say, okay, so he can deal with bad draws. He can even throw away a Dragon Ball if need be, if it comes up, or a drill, or a setup, or ally, what have you. The part that gets me is he basically dares you to waste a block. He says, "Are you really going to waste a block on a 1 life card physical in order to
Hmm.
me out of this zone where I'm going to hit you with unstoppable attack, an unstoppable defensive burst, or some similar card?"
Yeah. I mean, he
So,
he can set up, you know, some pretty nasty combos.
oh yeah, and you know what? A lot of people might wonder though, if you think about it for a second, though, we're not talking about like a Vegeta, a Cell. We're not talking about one of the heavy hitters of this game. For all what's the word? All out offense. Not at all. We're talking about General Tao. If you think about a guy with the lowest power stages in history, that's his thing. He's all attack, 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 attack. And wow, what a thing! What a thing! He's like the most offensive guy ever, even though he's not hitting very hard.
Hmm.
So kind of
So yeah, with
fascinating.
that, it's not what huge attack you're going to launch next with Tao. It's what hit effect you're getting off next with Tao.
Which is a neat thing. Which this game really doesn't have anything like it. So I'll applaud Panini for doing something new.
Really?
So, yeah, I said I'm on board. They got my vote for making a good card here. So we'll move on to level 3, Mercenary Tau Armed. Oh boy, oh boy. If I remember correctly, it's all coming back to me. Whenever one of your attacks is stopped, it continues, of course. Banish the top card of your opponent's life deck. If a Dragon Ball is banished in this way, you may play it. Whew.
Yeah,
They're
that's
clearly making a character who comes at things sideways.
yeah, definitely. There's no straightforward with Tao.
No, no. It's a neat idea. I think thematically they're getting better at being able to make characters who are more true to their counterparts.
Hmm.
Like Hercule was clearly a joke personality, and there's literally a joke on his level 1.
Oh,
Like,
Hercule,
this is
come on.
great.
Hercule is awesome.
Well, you remember that? I could do 100 stages, just not right now. Got a
I was
little
going
under
to
the
ask you,
weather.
what was with the tag team thing with John Cena?
Oh, we were talking about how I keep forgetting you haven't been around to play. Old John wants us to make him a tag team mastery that has John Cena leaning in really far over the tag.
Nice.
He said if we make it, he'll use it. Good stuff. Good stuff is what I'll say. Oh, darn it, we were talking about something. We were talking about Tao, and I got distracted with thoughts of John Cena.
Yeah.
So, a couple things. Amazing. If they stop the top of their deck, they're losing a card forever. And kind of like, what's his name?
Well,
Broly,
unless you're
really.
fighting Goku.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's the guy who says, what's a banish zone?
Yep.
So, neat thing is you can start stealing Dragon Balls, and this is going to become invaluable because you remember we talked about it. We said that the new mastery is going to be more nail and slug. So the fact that the likelihood of actually hitting a Dragon Ball is super high.
Hmm.
Yeah, it turns out the current like broken builds, even just using a handful of the new cards, slugs balling out in 2 turns.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's not real. I'm hoping people are making that up.
I don't know, man.
So we have a similar thing going on here with his actual power. The next non-style attack you perform this combat cannot be stopped. So if you think about it for a second, you were talking about carrying Optic Blast, other similar
Hmm.
cards.
Face Smash, I think it is.
Oh gosh, you get everything from Face Smash. Is that a level? No, that's a. Isn't that a set 2 card?
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be used anymore.
Oh no, set 2 is still legal.
Oh, so it's just set one.
Yeah, just what they call Premier set, just the Saiyan Saga, I guess way to think of it.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know
Oh,
exactly what was going out. What was it?
oh no, I understand. It's like that. So, like we said, amazing. Again, we are talking about the effectiveness of this card. I'm very, very deeply pleased that that phrase, non-styled attack. Now, people will be like, oh, aren't you opening it up for lots of non-style attacks that are just horrific, like, say, Dig or something? Yeah, but I'm really not worried about Tau hitting me with Dig or any other.
Tao is not meant to be up in your face. He's meant to, yeah, just hit from the side.
So it's like I could be upset, but it's like no, it's fine. A lot of the non-style attacks have hit effects. Like what's that? What's the ultra rare from not evolution? What was the other set? Perfection. You know the one with Vegeta hitting Cell in the stomach. I can't think of what it's called just now.
I cannot remember that. I don't think I have that
Heroic
card.
Dash.
Oh,
Sure, Heroic
Heroic
Dash.
Dashing Punch.
Yeah, that silly card. So that's what do they call that? One of the cards that say, "Oh, okay, that stink." That he can just get off a heroic dashing punch regardless.
Oh, Tao can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I said, dang, 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 dang. I guess that's going to be something to watch out for, but otherwise, it's not the most devastating power.
Um, well, actually, speaking of that, the only card I could see him using that would be straight up in your face would be True Power on this level.
Oh, mercy. Oh, I didn't even think about it. Ooh, be awful. We just look at, yeah, and he can't miss, dang.
Nope.
Let's see. Raise your anger 1 level. Hit your opponent cannot gain anger. Okay, so he can shut down anger gain is what he can do. Whew. No wait. Heroic dashing punch. Is that heroes only? Am
Yeah,
I
it's
talking?
heroes only.
Oh, I'm talking nonsense. Okay, don't listen to me.
I was wondering what you were going on about.
Oh no, I must be thinking of nonsense at this point. I think I've been hit with heroic dashing punch, and it really hit me enough times. Because remember I told you I fought a blue ultra rare heavy Yamcha deck that hit me with heroic dashing punch solely for the sake of knocking out my endurance.
Jeez, I did not know
No, I'm
this.
sorry. No. This is not endurance. This was a dig combat followed by a heroic dashing punch in the same combat. So I got hit by both. So no endurance, all damage is banished. So he basically turned Yamcha into Broly.
Jeez,
Yeah, I lived by not much.
that's
Oh,
quite an interesting build.
I got a really bizarre story for that. I hate to take us a little bit of a side, but on the pregame, the Friday before the big regional, we were playing in a match. I fought that, like we said, the ultra rare blue Yamcha, and he did all that stuff. He also had the gall to put on what is it, Quickfire? Let me look. I actually have this card sitting over here. Hold on. It is Quick Blast. You know the one with Krillin, the one that banishes all
Hmm.
block cards. So he wanted to make sure I'm wide open for it. So I found out something really interesting where you're like, how does that work? We had to call a guy from Panini over to say, what? So he plays Quick Blast. I attempt to block a different energy attack with Protective Posture. Remember how it says rejuvenate this card?
Uh,
It's the one
which one?
with it says stops was Namekian Protective Posture says stops energy attack, rejuvenate this card.
Hmm.
So it replaces itself. Here's the thing though. It turns out you think, wait. Does it put itself in the deck and is it discarded, or how does that work interact with Quick Blast? You're gonna love this. Because of the order of events, the Panini guy said when you stop the attack, you put it at the bottom, and then you actually search your own deck and banish it.
Huh.
I'm blown away. It's like, how did we get to this? Like, didn't I put it away? Didn't I rejuvenate it? All my immediate effects go before his? He's like, nope. I don't know. He says, yes, you do. And then you search your deck and banish it because you still played it. It's like, that is the biggest bunch of hooey. So, yeah, that's a little detour to take us on, but I've never had that happen. Use it, put it back, banish it.
How dare you try to rejuvenate?
It's not on my watch. So now we're on to good old Mercenary Tau level 4 Shielded. Oh boy, I don't remember. All I remember is it felt odd. Continuous. Whenever you perform an attack, banish the top card of your opponent's life deck. He's like a better Broly in that way. He doesn't need to do it once, just forever.
Mm, kind of. I
Oh,
wasn't too impressed with level 4, except for the fact that he has a built-in, whatchamacallit, stare down.
oh heck yeah! Except he banishes him. I care not for your discard pile. Yep. So what we're
Basically.
saying is, yeah, he can basically balance out every turn with this, and really wreck a strategy. He can wreck a strategy more solidly than Raditz level 3.
Yeah. The problem I have with it is it's so different from his level 2 and 3s that I think in the Dragon Ball deck I have planned for him, um, I don't want to be at level 4.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna do that, I'd say 2 is fine.
Yeah, no, I would say 3. 3 would probably be the best just because um, banishing the top, and if they banish the Dragon Ball, then I get to play it.
Well, I guess you know what I'd just say. Be prepared to be 2 or 3. That's about it.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Well, there's Vicious Strike. I don't know if you remember that card. It can de-level you if you ever need to. I
Hmm.
don't know if that'll be a problem, but it'd be neat. So, very solid power, like we said, potentially horrendously disruptive, really mess up combos. And if you think about it for a second, imagine this against a perceptive deck, where like you go through oodles of trouble to set up the top card of your life deck, only to have the guy slap it off.
Right.
So that's how that would go. So we're going over to Tao's Mercenary Tao's named cards.
Actually,
Um,
there was one more thing I wanted to bring up just with his level 3 that could also make a
oh,
good combo.
oh,
Um, Even if they don't have anything set up on the other side of the field, you can still use, what's it called? I got the card around here somewhere. Let me find it. It's actually non-styled.
hmm.
Sinister Choke.
Oh, heck yeah. Now, I forget a Sinister Choke. And on an unrelated note, I refuse to call it Sin Choke. I'm not that big a loser. I hate abbreves.
But yeah, Sinister Choke would work pretty well with his level 3, especially in a Dragon Ball deck because it's not stopped, it's not prevented, it's an auto
Oh,
crit.
whew. Holy cow. Yeah, yeah. Someone sets up and have the gall to do so. You can make a lot of unstoppable attacks with Tau. Huh. But yeah, that would make sense too, because look at the kind of character you're playing.
Yeah,
Just look at it, Michael. Look at it.
I am. He's creepy with that mustache. I wouldn't let him. What was it? Like 300 feet within an elementary school.
Yeah, he's got the pencil stash that says, "Yeah, I've been in the buff on camera." Jeez,
Wow.
that's enough Family Guy. Well, it's a Family Guy quotes when Stewie got a tan.
Mm.
An awful episode. But anyway, moving on to Sal's Super Dodon Wave. Did you play like a ton of any of the Budokais?
No.
Oh, you missed out from hearing people yell, Dodon Wave! Dodon Wave! Over and over again. So that's what I hear when I hear this. So, energy attack. It says attached to your opponent's main personality. While attached, your opponent may discard any defensive cards from his or her hand at the start of each turn. Oh, it may discard. If he or she does not, banish top card of your opponent's life deck. Place this card top of your life deck when your opponent deals critical damage. One life card. So, with the design you were telling me about, you were thinking about the Dragon Ball one. Is this going to fit in with your idea?
Uh, well, possibly not. I mean, it's not dealing any crits. It only deals one life card of damage. It's more for that assassin style of just decking out your opponent.
Yeah, you said you were going to bother with Mill.
I don't know. I can't figure out how to make a mill with him.
Well, I'd be
Um,
probably not to be like Mr. Cheater, Mr. Deck Recipe guy, but I'd say why don't you go back and kind of just look at what they did for Wheelo? You know,
Maybe.
yeah, just as a good like a blueprint, no, a skeleton of a deck. Because Wheelo hasn't been relevant in a long time.
Yeah, which is strange because Weasel he can mill pretty hard.
Oh yeah, especially with modern cards like stuff that came out of Vengeance, like Black
Mm-hmm.
Imitation, all that jazz. Oh yeah, he should be cleaning up. But no, people are always. I only use what won the last big tournament. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. So for me, Dodon Wave, it seems neat to put that kind of pressure on him. It even seems reminiscent of a Black Capture and stuff like that. The cripple you, make you banish cards.
Yep.
It's neat thing, but unless you're going for that build, don't bother. Like it may be one of those rare times don't include a named card.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. His Dodon Wave could be good just for milling if you are planning on winning by survival. So
Oh, it is.
there could be with Red Cooler there could be that trifecta of victories.
Oh yeah.
I
Whoo! Could
mean,
you
not
imagine
with
get rid of all
the
the Dragon Balls? Woo!
well, if you got rid of their Dragon Balls, you can still play yours.
Oh yeah, I'd eat it. So it's got its uses. Certainly, I'd never call it useless. I would just say for the build you've been telling me about, yeah, it might not be the best, but for mill decks, it's right on the nose.
Oh yeah.
You know a card I keep talking about, and I remember making a big deal out of this in the last one of these talks that we had. I said blue slash needs to come back in a big way. It is so powerful.
Those ones where they mill for every anger they don't have.
Oh yeah, remember that? It's what was it? 6 minus their current anger. So it hits them for one life card initially, and then just their deck falls off.
Hmm.
Oh, that's whoo devastating. You just save it for your last move and just catch up on life cards. So it is also a free energy attack. That's kind of a neat thing. So, and again, thematic, because does Tao look like he's working for that energy, or is his cyborg limbs?
I'd say cyborg limbs.
Well, there you go, and voila. So the last card.
I can't get away from the androids in this game apparently.
Oh yeah, you would play a cyborg, wouldn't you?
Yep.
So we're on the Mercenary Tao's puzzles. I'm going to take a harder look at this because I don't remember what I came to conclusion wise before. So it's an event. You may play this card to stop a physical energy attack. So it adds to your Omni blocks, which is good.
Hmm.
So power, banish the top card of your life deck. Your opponent must pass for his or her next action as combat. So you remember how we said how if Awakening is supposed to be a starting point, they talk about if you're new to the game because they're freezing out old stuff and all that, this is a good place to start. I just barely realized that Tau is Raditz. How did I not catch that?
Huh?
Yeah, that Tau is Raditz. Remember how he has a disruptive thing for getting cards out of your hands? You're like, wait, Raditz did
Oh
that.
yeah.
And then
Uh,
Raditz had an attach card that was also an Omni block. So they split that up as an attach card and an Omni block.
hmm.
Like, you really are just Raditz, aren't you? So, except of course, instead of putting setups into play, it lets you do your what do you call it? It lets you banish a card in order to get the heck out of combat and not
Uh,
die.
yeah. I do have one question. I do love his event named card though. It says you may play this in parentheticals to stop a physical or energy attack. Now, when you play it like that, do you also get the power effect or no? Because I
I'm gonna
don't believe so.
no. I would say that the parenthetical is its own separate effect unless it directly interacts with the regular power.
Hmm.
I remember. Well, that's a hard one. I'd have to look at Playful Punch because it works identically to that.
Well, Playful Punch has an immediate effect. So when played as block, you still get that immediate effect. There's also another card. I can't remember what the name of it was.
Oh, okay. Because
Oh
this
wait,
one
there's
says,
there's the blue cards that they're not omni blocks, but you can play them to stop attacks.
just looking at it right now. So stop an attack, gain 5 stages, all that stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know what? You know you don't. I just realized because it's a power and requires its own action. You're right. If it was an immediate effect, you'd get it, or at least near as I can tell.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be used to block an attack, unless that attack is supposed to really cripple you.
Well,
But
exactly.
it's still a good, block or get out of combat.
Oh yeah, I'd still take it. You wouldn't see me say no.
And it's
That'd be
just
fine.
hilarious. I remember the puzzle scene.
I don't. What happened in this scene?
I better remember, but I know that he kept Goku busy for I think it was a good few hours.
Well, I guess at least it's gonna be funny when it comes up in Team Four Star
Yep.
because it's got that. Oh my! I'm just imagining the scene already. And then I want Goku to keep saying, "No, no, I got it, I got it."
As he just ignores Gohan.
Oh, you know what? I brought this up in our last big discussion. I wonder if we're going to see this happen with the climax of the Cell thing because they've been laying the seed since season one. You know that eventually the thing that makes Gohan snap is not all the other stuff, but being angry at Goku for being an absent father.
Yeah, they may switch it up.
I mean, I assume that's where it's been going because all the building is, always brings that up. You remember one of my favorite things? He just got back from training after being,
After being dead.
that was after,
Bye, son. That was the best thing ever that they created.
They made it from nothing, and it's still great. Doggone it. So yes, so this is gonna be good times. Well, what was I gonna say? So our overall ruling of Tao is that my opinion is that Tao's either gonna top cut or might even take the world championships. We were talking about this whole idea. You tell me what you think in a second, Michael. We said that like last year, where Android 20 took a unexpected spot where the world championship was 20 on 20 action, and like we said, that was a personality that was a month old at the time. We're saying that with little time for people to get their decks prepared, to be aware of what to do, to know the strategies backwards and forwards, or what kind of archetypes exist, that in all likelihood one of the new personalities is going to squeak into first place. And we said that Tau might be a good counter to a lot of the super aggressive, powerful decks, and might, like we said, top cut or even win. What are you feeling for its performance at the World Championships?
For Tao, I don't know. I think he's
Because
going to have a lot of interesting builds. I think it's going to be mainly the mill decks. I still see that he is just. I see that he's just still perfect for Reddit. The new Red, was it Absolution
oh, Red Retribution.
or Red Retribution? Yeah, no,
Oh,
that was Orange Retribution.
wait, Orange Retribution. Well, what the heck's red then? Hold on, don't quote me on that.
Ascension, Ascension.
Ascension. Wow. Okay, I'm mixing up my stuff.
I remember because I remember the picture of Goku taking a step up onto the stage, and he called it Ascension.
Oh yes, one of the best. So, so that's one though. The other thing that Angelo said is he said the timing's all wrong. He says there's too little time between the launch day and the World Championship. He said there's no way there'll be no time for people to figure out a deck as complex as his.
Oh, you were talking about for this upcoming one. Yeah, for this upcoming one, I don't think you're really going to see any of the newer MPs just because they're too new. You may see a couple of them in some experimental builds. They may get kind of high just because there's not really any solid way to deal with them just yet.
Oh yeah, well, like remember how we got one-sided fly mashed against a wall with a fly swatter? We all tried to fight Broly initially.
Hmm.
Yeah, where we was like, huh, what do you know? You cannot compare with his power. His power is irresistible.
His power is maximum.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's tattooed across his back in Old English.
But yeah, as for Tao, I think he's going to be probably the opposite of Red Enraged Roshi, where he's going to launch more attacks versus taking time to set up and draw out Dragon Balls.
Wow. Yeah, that to me will be like the hardest thing is that it just won't. There won't be time to figure out what works with Tau. There's not enough time to get the millions of matches in and to refine and to really know the new cards. And I mean, some people might be able to do it, but you're right. I just don't see it happening. I thought for sure it'd be like Roshi all over again. Remember who won the first competition he was allowed to be in, legally in?
I think I remember that.
Yeah, it was a heck of a time. I'll tell you what. I predicted as soon as I watched Roshi, I said, "Oh my!" A character that's horrifically defensive, and the ability to sort of stall out in every scenario. He's going to be unmatched. There's not going to be much that can be done about the guy. So yeah, that's going to be some interesting times. We're going to go ahead and in time to come, we will report back when Michael has a deck built that he would like to show off for this particular build of Tau. Probably not in time for World Championships to be able to compare notes, and that's going to kind of stink. Because if Tau should suddenly win, Michael, it's going to look like a big, fat, stinky Trend Rider.
Yep.
And I will blame him. I will laugh in his face.
I'll laugh right back in yours, Mario.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Just like that.
Michael called me out of nowhere. Bring, bring. Well,
Called
good,
you on your
Michael.
cell phone. 'Cause I used to call you on your cell phone.
Oh, oh. Oh, thanks for bringing us down, Michael. And that is the lowest point of our conversation and where we're going to have to end it. We very much so appreciate Your time as an audience. Appreciate you putting up with us. Michael, say goodbye in a nice way, and then we're out of here.
Oh, hang on. I was actually going through some cards, and on one last note, Black
Oh,
Recollection Drill might actually work for Tau.
Black Recollect. Refresh my memory. What is that?
It's a common that no one cares about. Instant power used at the start of your turn. Destroy the top X cards of your opponent's life. I'm sorry. Destroy the top X cards of your life deck to destroy the top X cards of your opponent's life deck. X is the number of Dragon Balls you control.
Oh,
Actually, I should have reread that because it could be good. It could be bad.
well, it sounds like it. Depending on how hardcore you're going to go with this silly build of wanting to do this, seems good to me.
Yeah.
I'd do it.
Yeah.
So,
I'll try something.
well, there's a lot of options, and you know what? Sometimes people tell me about this stuff. Where, like, say you're playing Hercule. Hercule's real easy because he's all physicals. Your deck's real straightforward.
Can you use energy blocks with him?
Yes, blocks.
Okay.
Yes, attacks. No, nothing that could do an energy block. Energy attack. I
Even
mean,
allies, which kind of sucks.
well, hey, remember I told you I was getting flashbacks to the old days of Score Z where Hercule decks were just the worst.
I think I remember that.
It was bad times. Let me tell you. Where I would fight a Hercule, and Hercule had stage damage buffs. A setup called Who to Man. Is that for remainder of combat, all your physical attacks do +3 stages. So that would apply to your allies, and you could get dogpiled real easy.
Huh. It's kind of an
Oh,
interesting card.
it was the worst. I hated it, no question. Ugh, ugh. So yeah, with this one, I very much so appreciate that there's more balance to it. That's not going to happen this time, and they actually thought ahead far enough, for this.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say about the card masteries they're coming out with, I think they are what the first set of masteries should have been.
Oh yeah, by a lot. Isn't that terrible that they were so concerned, I guess, with making the game like more interesting, having sort of an angle on all of them, being very effective. They really made abusable masteries.
Hmm.
This is what I appreciate, that they have more built-in limitations on the masteries so they're not so easily abused.
Right.
Because it was going right for the throat with power creep as far as masteries were going.
Oh yeah, and just everyone was using the same mastery. Like if you check out the statistics on Panini, they should have been ashamed of themselves.
Oh yeah, have you seen that stuff where you're like, guys, some masteries never even. It's like they don't exist.
Hmm.
What was it? Perceptive showed up like less than 10 times over the entire organized play season.
Yep. Let's see what else.
Uncountable.
Almost no one ran. What was it? Orange Adept.
Nope, not a soul. Even though there's plenty of good decks with that.
Oh yeah, tons of them.
And here we are with that sort of thing. It's rough. It's rough to be doing this. When you live in a world where it's like Panini, you gotta know better. All the time I hear about how Panini's never going to be as bad as Score with not caring. Score, they made their game in a vacuum. They did not listen to us one bit.
Nope.
It was an interesting time to be, doing this stuff. So I'm not going to ever say they're as bad as Score, but there's been some times where, come on, guys, look at these percentages. Also, I think I finally figured out, I was like, why did Broly never get errated? Why wouldn't you errata Broly? And I finally figured it out. It took me forever and a day. It turns out Broly never got errated because all the decks that made him ultra powerful are going away. And that's why they never bothered. He's average in another deck. In other styles, I mean.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh, okay, so you were going to kneecap this dude from the beginning, so that's how how it was going to play out. And I feel better in a way where it's like, yes, we did have a plan, but I still feel like, but you still put us through 3 months of heck dealing with, this guy.
Yeah, I think Broly is still, for the most part, balanced.
I don't know. The only people I've said this a couple of times over all this time. The only people who think Broly are balanced are people who play Broly.
Oh, I don't play Broly. I do have a Broly deck built on Octagon, but I don't know. It doesn't win 100% of the time.
Well, no, no deck should. I'm just saying that everything about it, like, took a poop on everything. It's like, hey, do you level? You're gonna regret it. Do you have setups? I'll blast them away. Do you do allies? I take care of them. Do you use endurance? No, you don't. That Broly just had an answer for everything. That's why I dislike fighting him so. I dislike that he got all the powers.
I actually hated fighting Android 13 more. He
You know
just
what?
seemed to take off from level 1 and just not stop ever.
You're not wrong, of course, because we were there, we saw it. But what I'll say about that one was all I learned about good old 13 is he's tough. Just don't let him hit you with his personality power, and you can stall him out indefinitely.
Hmm.
Like no matter how bad a beating you're taking, you make sure you save a block for that power. Other than that, he's not that tough. I know it's terrible to say, poor John. I just said as long as you keep that away from him, you keep the power from hitting you, you're good. You're golden.
Interesting.
Yeah, I found out, what was it? He can't get his androids out on level 1 unless he actually has real searchers, which means he's not going to be able to get them out turn 1 generally, other than the tag mastery. He's not going to be able to turn off your masteries and powers on level 3, all that stuff. He's not going to be able to do any of that. You can cripple him by just being mindful that that attack must be blocked.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not even like the hardest thing ever. I feel kind of bad even saying it. That's his weakness. Don't let him hit you. So yeah, yeah. So unless Michael has more to share, do you, Michael? Do you?
Nope, I don't.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to that too. If you call me back like a second later saying, "But wait, there's more."
But wait, there's more. Would you like to know more?
No, just a little one. No, but what was I gonna tell you? So yeah, it's been good stuff, Michael. Appreciate the heck out of you taking time out of your day. When you're all pooped and angry at the world.
Well, all you're doing right now is ruining my Overwatch time.